Hello, greetings everyone. This is me again, Zara Berserk. So I cannot rest trying to. Okay, so the thing is that I'm just charging my mic better, this one, the headphones, and it hurts my ears. My very sensitive and very weak I've become, so I'm not using my headphones. So just checking my voice and also charging it. So let's see when it's charged, I might use that for better sound. So right now, yeah, I did respect His Highness Agha Khan, the fourth one, but I never said anything against them. I was a Shia and I could not. But lately, when I was following the Ismailis, I saw a picture. His Highness, no copyrights infringement intended, a live dot static flicker. So His Highness met with the Ziaul Haq, and how Ziaul Haq was with us, with the Bhutto party, People's Party, Bhutto's party. So I saw this and I didn't say anything because out of politeness, I kept quiet. I didn't like Ziaul Haq at all. What he did to Karachi, Pakistan, the whole of Pakistan, is bring about these divisions, very many, these parties now, religious, which have become terrorist even, you know. He paved way for all these. And he also used to hit Koras and punish people so badly. His martial law was terrible. This shows that His Highness Agha Khan never cared, even the fourth one. So I didn't say anything, and then I slowly moved away from His Highness Agha Khan. When someone of the Ismailis, whoever is taking care of that page, Ismaili page on Facebook, posted a picture like this, His Highness Agha Khan with Ziaul Haq. You see? So you people are so brainwashed that, you don't care to even question this. And then he had many marriage losses, so we don't want to rub it in, right? We pray. But you see, I was told at a young age that His Highness, no, Agha Khanis at that time in the British Empire, when when the British came to India, Agha Khan was an agent. Yeah, this is how I heard someone tell me. British Empire became an agent of the British Empire. So you see this. So you can check the Agha Khan as a British imperial agent during World War I, JSTOR on jstor.org. You can read all this. I don't have the strength. I don't even have the strength to listen to this. Agha Khan, a British agent, on YouTube by the channel Rethinking Ismailism. Right? So I don't know if I'll be on copyrights infringement, if I'll have issues if I go to this. So you can see this. And I think the Ismailis are much protected. Yes, and this is how Agha Khan, although very respectable and respected around the world, still I feel that his grandfather had, not I feel, but there's evidence that now when I searched it, that he was from a British imperial, agent. He became a British imperial agent. So how far this is true, you can read, right? So Salim Lalani was telling us that uh, the British used Agha Khan of that time. I don't know, maybe the great grandfather of Agha Khan, or like that, a great grandfather of Agha Khan, this present Agha Khan, to fight and kill Afghanis, right? There's so many people suffering and all this, but His Highness, one person cannot handle all this. And he's, because, and also you can see that Ziaul Haq also, not only Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, but Ziaul Haq did a lot of injustice in Karachi, Pakistan, sorry. Karachi was my state where I lived, so that's why Karachi is coming out. Sorry for the slip. So I felt that someone was using me, my niceness, my not questioning Khan. I think I have been a fool for me, out of respect. This is what Jiddu Krishnamurti says, what authorities do to you. Like they close your mind. Okay, they give you all the good things and that. Some authorities don't give you good things. They are uh, evil. But I don't know, like Salim Lalani, I would agree to Salim Lalani to some extent when he was telling us about the history of the alamats, and the history of Agha Khan. So this present Agha Khan is very peaceful and all this, and yet you see how it's not in Islam to marry Christians and all that, right? Yet Agha Khan has married Christians or, like non-Muslim women, because he says, I'm the spiritual father of the Muslims, the Ismailis at least. So he cannot marry the. I did like a kind of a research here and there of the Agha Khanis, like why I didn't put it on public. I don't think I spoke about it because out of respect and politeness. So His Highness Agha Khan also has a lot of power around the world. He's one of the richest people. Um all this, right? So this power, I don't know how they got, and how he diplomatically works. Like he diplomatically worked, to get the land from Ziaul Haq, to get permission to have that big Agha Khan hospital and nursing school and all that. When I went following my teacher, they were very strict, like they wouldn't allow me in, right? So at times they can be very strict. Also, there's like the British, they have a rule and very strict rule. But anyways, I was glad that later on, in retrospect, that if someone was after Miss Desai and me, that His Highness Agha Khan helped, like his nursing school helped Miss Desai, that after Karachi American School, she would go there and work there in the afternoon, and then come back and go to church. I mean, full day for a lady who is now like 60 years old or something. Can you imagine her working like that? So, diplomatic ties, right? Sometimes, honesty doesn't work, and directness doesn't work, bluntness doesn't work. Sometimes diplomatic ties work for their own interest, I feel. And then where does it say in Islam? Although Islam is a gone case, but where does it say in Islam? Only Muawiyah, it says. I didn't show you that in my previous. That he married I think Yazid's mother was a Christian. Let me see. I'll have to seek out Wikipedia. Yazid, this one. The first. I think it's Yazid. Yes, Ibn Muawiyah ibn Abu Sufyan. I say Abu Sufyan, not Abi Sufyan. So, his mother was a Christian. Maysoon bint Bahdal, right? Clan of the Banu Kalb, a tribe which dominated the Syrian steppe. Muawiyah's marriage to her sealed his alliance with the tribe. Maysoon also enjoys a reputation as one of the earliest attested Arabic language women poets. However, that reputation seems to belong to a woman of a similar name, so you don't know for sure. Then we have this tribe she belonged to. The reason why I had to check on, the Kalb and the family of Bahadil had been Christians at the time of the conquest, and it is not known if Maysoon remained Christian following her marriage to Muawiyah or not. The historian Moshe Sharon holds that it was doubtful she converted to Islam. You see? So one historian says it's doubtful that she converted to Islam. Now, I've studied a little bit of life of His Highness Agha Khan, where marriage is concerned. So I asked myself, why would His Highness Agha Khan marry Christians? First reason is, like any Muslim would ask, is that it could be because Muawiyah did. Another reason they give is that he's considered a spiritual father, and Muslims are his children, so he has to marry outside Islam, and then they can become Muslims or just change their names, right? That doesn't come in Islam, in the old Islam, so if they take until Imam Jafar is Sadiq, I know about until Imam Jafar is Sadiq, then I don't know, after Ismail, I don't know the full history of all the Imams. So when they started to make changes in Islam, bring changes in Islam, and the Imams would marry Christian ladies and become spiritual fathers. In the Quran it says Prophet Muhammad is not, like Muhammad, the Messenger of Allah, is not the father of any of your people, mankind, or what is it, sons. Any of you Muslims, right? Muslim believers. So I don't know when the Imam can make a change. I haven't studied that in depth. But looking at Muawiyah's life and Yazid's life, coming to Yazid's life, Yazid the Great, because you see, I don't even think that Yazid did what most of the things ascribed to him by the Shias. I don't believe in Shia history anymore, because it comes from the Prophet Muhammad's Al family, and whatever they give, then the Shias would look at the Umayyad side, and whatever is in their favor, like wherever there's no oppression or against Ali anything, then they would take that and fit it in to their research and say, oh, we've researched thoroughly as scientists, but it's biased research. If they had researched these Shias, so it's another thing, about the research, if the Shias had researched unbiasedly, like, no, we need to know Prophet Muhammad was a true prophet or a false prophet, whether this Quran is true or false, whether it has contradictions, whether it has scientific truth, where it mentions scientific truth like astronomy and all this on that, medical science truth. They didn't research like that, the Shias, 12 Shias. And what these Agha Khanis did very cleverly was to take that ayat from Ali Imran or somewhere, like taking the Quran ayats metaphorically. So now they can tell their followers that don't read this Quran literally, but take it metaphorically. This is what they've done. A very clever mind, I must say, whoever did this, whichever Imam from the Ismailis, Agha Ismailis did this, right? Now let's see if I can put my headphones on. This mic is better. Uh, where is it? Trying to find that button. Power. Okay, it's going to be connected. Okay, it's connected. All right. So sorry about this. Okay, may soon. Okay, the mother that of Yazid was a Christian or not. They're not sure. Or so where this imams changed the Islam, like the imams can change the Islam, like bring it in, modern times. So where this changed, I don't know. But the ayat, like if metaphorically taken, is that, because Imam Jafar Sadiq or someone was saying in Qafi that God, which the Shias, the Muslims, majority of them, non-Shia Muslims, blame the Shias of is biddat, innovation, bringing something new in the religion. When Umar brought something new, we say this is biddat, but it's not biddat, innovation. But it said Umar didn't have the right to bring changes in the religion or cancel something which Prophet Muhammad had allowed during his lifetime, like mutta. Now you see the Sunnis don't practice mutta, temporary marriages, the way the Shias do, what your right hands possess. So that when I shouldn't say, some Shias say that because that's against Prophet Muhammad, right? What Umar brought. So it shouldn't go against Islam. But then the Imams, we are told, have the right to bring about something new, like Allah says in the Quran ayats, that we cancelled some signs and we brought new signs or something like this. What are they? Not laws, but signs, ayats. And they can even take that metaphorically and tell you, the Agha Khanis, that ayat that in Surah, where is it? That every hour is better than the one that has gone by. Right? This means that they can translate it to mean, or interpret it to mean, every imam is better than the one that has gone by. Right? Or something like this, right? So they can do that. The imams are allowed to do that. But Umar bin Khattab is not allowed to do that because Prophet Muhammad didn't choose him, because Allah didn't choose him as imam. But the Sunnis made him the Khalifa, Rashidun Khalifa. The Ismailis are smart enough not to talk about it, not to get into this. So actually the Sunnis don't kill the Ismailis for this, at least, They're very cool, calm, peaceful. They don't they don't curse anyone like that, or even Yazid. But we cursed Yazid, like say Hussein Zindabad and Yazid Murdabad. Yazid we cursed, right? But we didn't curse the wives who annoyed Prophet Muhammad. We didn't curse the Rashidun, but only Umar who injured Fatima. When we recite the martyrdom of Fatima, we indirectly say that we don't everyday curse them and all this, but God says once you leave this religion, you become a, if you, like Prophet Muhammad said, whoever hurts Fatima, it's in their books too, the Umayyad, the Muslims, hurts me, hurts Allah, hurts me. So whoever hurts my daughter Fatima, meaning his daughter. So that's why we say this, but we don't curse them. It's, and if we, the Sunnis find out that if we, someone mentioned Umar bin Khattab or something, they would come to destroy our Imam Barga, burn it, and things like that. They start, because their Sahabas are very important for them. It's like near to worshipping them, right? They used to blame Shias for, they when I was a Shia, I know that they used to blame the Shias for worshipping Ali, Muhammad Ali, Fatima, Hassan Hussein. So this goes on. So what was my point here is that the imams can change, and it's not called bid'at, but Imam Jafar Sadiq in Al-Qafi or some imam, or Imam Ali, I don't know which one, said that God is worshipped by bid'at. It's the best way to worship God. You know, the sun, that's Yusuf Ali's translation, Surah Rahman or somewhere. Every day it's a new glory of the sun. You see, every day we see, it's like, oh, great, but that was Yusuf Ali's translation. But the true ayat doesn't go like this. Every day the sun shines in its new, the sun comes up, or something like this, in its glory. New. I think it's in Surah Rahman, if I'm not forgetting. Ayat. And I'll show you the other verses where Allah says, we change a verse for another one, or we just cancel one verse. Something like this. I'll show you how many. I think there are two ayats I found on Google search. The blessed verse is saying that the sun and the moon follow the course. No. Every day the sun shines in a new glory. Can't find that ayat here. Because I think it's only Yusuf Ali's translation like this. Otherwise, the ayat, when I read it, I was like, great, this means every day the sun comes up with a new glory, Yusuf Ali. But unfortunately, oh no, every day in new splendor doth he shine. I don't know which number ayat it is. Like every day is bringing about a matter. It's Surah Rahman, ayat 55. Let's see, I think it is Surah Rahman, ayat 55. Let's see if there is. So, which favors of your Lord would you do? Oh God, it's not 55. This is the runaround I get. No, it's not. God knows where it is, but which ayat number it is. But I think every day every day God gives us, what is this? Every day God brings a new matter, brings a matter. God knows what he does. Oh God. God knows which, you can, it's a long, so I'm on the, let me see, no, it'd be too boring going through the text all the time. So this is the problem. Ismailis have, the British had grown to be a paramount power in India in the course of the 18th and early 19th century. You can read this from ismaili.net, right? So I retreated from His Highness Agha Khan, the Ismailis. I retreated, although my respect for His Highness Agha Khan the Fourth was there. But then I said, no, he doesn't help everyone. He's just for his Ismailis. Although AKDN is doing a lot for atmosphere, animals, environment, and all that. But, people in trouble, he doesn't help. Where his interest isn't, right? Like being friends with Ziaul Haq diplomatically. He was our Imam. We were, 12 Shias were told that Imam, Allah doesn't like zulm. So you can read what the Agha Khanis did here, if they did fight and kill. What Salim Lalani said, that the Agha Khanis at the time joined the British, helped the British to kill the Afghanis. And they had a few skirmishes here, we're told. Agha Khan having volunteered regarding the event of January 12th, that on this occasion, Agha Khan having volunteered the services of his 100 men, was present and was engaged in skirmishing with the enemy. One of the Agha Khan's men was killed and few others were wounded. So the insurrection spread slowly towards Kandahar. Muhammad Atta Khan was sent by the Kabul party to win the Duranis and thereby raised an insurrection in Kandahar. Of the British, Kabul became very critical. So lost control of Kabul. Who lost control of Kabul? So put down the rising. William Knott on January fought with the rebels and defeated them. The Agha Khan had also joined Knott, and see, the Agha Khan, Salim Lalani is not wrong about this. Salim Lalani told us about this. One of the Agha Khan's men was killed and few others were wounded. What were they doing there? The Agha Khan had also joined Knott and Rawlinson in the skirmish. They call it skirmishes of Kila Sheikh with his 100 horsemen. We are told 12. That's why some of the Ismailis, when during the time of His Highness Agha Khan III, I heard, took His Highness Agha Khan to court. That you are not a true Imam. And then in India they had a case. Then some Ismailis left, Ismaili Shia, and became 12 Shias. For this reason, things that they saw the Imams doing. We are told we're not supposed to, the Imams cannot diplomatically join. Anyone who's oppressed has an atom's worth of oppression in him, we're not supposed to give bait or, like His Highness Agha Khan tells his Ismailis, whichever country you live, you can like give bait to the Queen of England if you're living in Canada and if you want to have the passport. You can give bait to, if you want the passport, British passport, you live there for 5 years, you can give allegiance to the Queen of England. Now it's the King of England. But I would think twice as a Shia to do that, 12 Shia. Because my covenant to Abraham, God tells Abraham now wants to rule the world. And God tells Abraham, my covenant does not reach the Zalimun. And we were told that this Imam, true Imam, cannot have these diplomatic ties. Because Allah hates oppressors. Ibrahim said, and of my offspring. So what's the whole ayat from Surah Baqarah, ayat 1 to 4? And mention, O Muhammad, when Abraham was tried by his Lord with commands and he fulfilled them, Allah said, indeed, I will make you a leader for the people. Abraham said, and of my descendants, he wants his descendants to be leaders. Allah said, my covenant does not include the wrongdoers. So these imams cannot mingle with anyone or ask their followers to give bait of allegiance to any country, president, queen, anyone. I would think twice of taking a Canadian passport, or when I was a 12 Shia. I cannot give bait. I cannot give allegiance to the Queen of England or to the King of England. I'm a 12 Shia when I was a 12 Shia, right? As a 12 Shia, I'm talking in that way. Like in Shia 12, it's very, very strict, absolutely strict. Even a Muslim country, like they wouldn't ask for bet, for allegiance. But if they did, then I would say sorry, If I see in the country some happening like human rights violations, the president, the Amir, like if there's, no, we can't. We're not allowed to give allegiance to the Qatari or even to the Saudi king. We are not allowed. Right? Because they are not the upholders of Islam. Imams are only the rightful upholders of Islam. The imams, the leaders and all this, the caretakers of the Kaaba. Right? But now, since I left, now I'm free to do what I want to do, as long as I don't encroach upon other people's rights or hurt anyone. But I felt that this Agha Khan had played it safe, to mingle pluralism and all this, mingle with others, mix, give allegiance, it's not a big deal. Go by the rules of the country. His Ismailis are safe. Because the Imam is present. If the Imam says, pay allegiance to the Queen, he's changed it. He's changed Islam and he has the power to change Islam. Allama Rashid Turabi said, Imam Ali had this power. What power? If he tells you that you are not the daughter of this man, even if you, by nas, like you, by that biological, you are then not the daughter. He's not your father. But Imam Ali had the power to do this, but he never practiced it. But God had given him that much power that Imam Ali could declare that this is not your daughter, this is not your father. Even if biologically, scientifically proven, DNA test, this is your father, this is. Just let's say he's your father. So like that, he's not your father if Imam Ali declares that he's not your father. Then that whole thing just cancelled. This God's power. But they didn't practice it. So this, anything else here? Fulfilled, Allah said, leader for the people. So by this ayat, the 12 Shias go very stringently, right? You go. I used to go by this ayat because they used to go by this ayat. We cannot pay allegiance to anyone else except the imams. Um, then it would be a great problem to take a British passport, because my principal said that when her husband had the British passport, and when she had to go for the British passport, she had to pay allegiance to the Queen of England. So this, and even her sons, their father had the British passport, so they got the British passport. So this thing, right? And so what else do we have here? Now, Biddat, so Allah says, what does Allah say? Cancel a verse. For a new one. So now I'm not even with the Hindus. I just cut off because I don't think that Hinduism is true either. Whenever we abrogate a verse or cause it to be forgotten, we bring one better than it or one equal to it. God is, Imam Jafar Sadiq on this is saying that the best way to worship God is through bid'ah. So this ayat 106 from Surah Baqarah. Ever changing ayats. For everyone from among you are angels, replacing one another in front of him and behind him, a guard under the command. The witnesses, there's another ayat which I can't find, but I think there are two ayats. Whenever we abrogate a verse or cause it to be forgotten, we bring a better one than it or one equal to it. So God has given this power to imams to do this. We were told. I mean, Imam Jafar Sadiq and all. I gathered from what I was reading, and so this all this the 12 Shias do that the Muslims object to, like bringing out Mehndi, in the Indo-Pak, about all this. I feel that now on that, saying that you are doing Hindu Hindu traditions you've brought into Islam and all this. This is haram, this is bid'at. So, this, but the Ismailis don't do this. Matam, what Agha Khan I don't know when they never did this matam. Agha Khan hasn't allowed matam. These are just very bad things. Do Ismailis? No, they say they do matam. Here, it's on Facebook, but I don't think they, like, did matam. And Arabic term matam refers in general to an act or gesture of mourning. So they don't really hit their chest, maybe, for Imam Hussein, like the Shias do. No copyrights infringement intended. Or maybe they do. Does every Shia believe on the matam? But a long time ago, on about like like about hijab, Agha Khan against hijab now. Which Agha Khan? Agha Khan the third stopped hijab. On hijab, let me just show you. Yeah, this I was doing a research on Agha Khan. I found against this veil thing. The veil for women is a tradition which precedes Islam. You see? So that's how I found that what they say is that they say something about on Imam Hussein morning, that this beating of chest and what these Shias 12ers do, it's not good. Flagellation, morning. Let's see, flagellation actually it's called. Self-flagellation. Ismailis. Like, this is backward stuff. This is terrible. And some Ismailis were saying against the 12 Shias that this is not right what the 12 Shias do. It's now considered haram by some, namely Irani Usuli Shia authorities also. Self-flagellation has been practiced, but is now considered haram, even by the Usuli Shia authorities in Iran. Irani. Ismailism, origin, and all this. In Islam, there are no extreme renunciations, no asceticism, no maceration, above all, no flagellations to subjugate the body. Ismaili.net. No copyrights infringement intended. Okay? You see this? The origins of man's religious aspirations are to be found. Okay, let's not read the whole thing. Nowadays called science. What does it say? Oh God, it's a big article here, long article again, much reading in Ismailis. We have a lot of reading to do. They give us too much of this, reading. For them, education is very, very important. They cannot accept ignorance. Like, they will say we are backward people. The Haqqanis will say we are backward people. Like we just, I don't want to study. I want to just search God not in books and in writings, but in my life, go to the jungle, They won't accept this. They want us to be up to date and progressive and like that. I don't know where it is, anyways. These people here, oh God, also, so I didn't like some what the Ismailis were saying against Shia self-flagellation. Yeah, so Muharram is like kissa or some remembrance. See, no maceration, above all, no flagellations to subjugate the body. Agha Khan's speeches, interviews with writings. Which Agha Khan, I don't know, but oh yeah, Agha Khan the Third stopped all this. Chapter 2, Islam, the religion of my ancestors. The memoirs of Agha Khan the Third. You can see I've done this, my research. Like this is considered bad, and it's not allowed. Like, if a Hindu rishi is sitting naked or a Jain, it's like backward. They think it's backward. They've joined the British agents who were very forward. They thought they were sirs, or Saab karke. They were called Saab with hands. Allah, Saab. Like that. The Hindus used to look up to them. End of this. So there's a lot of reading and books. I cannot take this anymore. So he has progressed his society. He's gone hand on hand with the, with hand in hand with the Britishers. But Hinduism, I don't know. There's like gurus, they're fake gurus and all this. And there's no control. Like there's a lot of black magic, and you can kill people, and these. Now recently, the condescending attitude of Paramahamsa Vishwananda I saw, and some of the gurus I've seen, condescending. But you can't kill the ego. You can never kill the ego. So this is what Jiddu Krishnamurti was saying. Please leave Hinduism, this, that. But I had to, for my health and all, I thought, okay, some spiritual people, we can go weird. But that's the way spiritual, I think, is. Or psychic. Maybe we go into the psychic. But if we truly go into the spiritual realm, and God pulls us up, then we've got plaything. We've got, we can do magic. We can create miracles like magic at the slate of our, slate, or you can just blink your eye, and we'll do lots of things. So I don't know if this is in Christianity, these fortune tellers, they say this is not allowed. Jesus Christ said, those even who heal in my name do wonders. Not all will be with me, with my Father and me on the right hand. No. When they say Christ, I will deny them. You were never with me. I don't know what he meant by that, like parable or something, or I didn't get it right, maybe. So if Jesus Christ spoke in parables and I didn't get it, I wasn't accepted as a Christian then. So this, and even Hindus, I feel they're really messed up, their religion, And spirituality, it's like they're talking about the ego a lot, to crush the ego. So I think the best was Jiddu Krishnamurti, and Muji now is good to show us. I tried to find that, but it's very, very hard. How Jiddu Krishnamurti was trying to make us see thought is memory, not to rely on thought too much, make it so important. And so I don't know, observe the observer and the so Jiddu Krishnamurti's books. It was very difficult to understand unless you're that knowledgeable and you have that grasp over English language and all that. Your command in English, your comprehension. So we needed someone like Muji Baba, because he also says, these books I didn't like reading too much. But now they have some book on him. However, in the beginning, it was just so simple to see that this is the witness. He took us there. Surpassing the ego. You can, Muji Baba is right. You look at the mind, you keep looking at it. You can do, Jiddu Krishnamurti is right. You can do practices, methods and all, but I don't know how you would go to surpass this ego. Unless the truth comes and it's shown to you, right, stage by stage, maybe it will take a very long time. Very long time. Swami Rama said, it takes such a long time, one of his videos, that I was like, oh my God, I'm not well. I need some protection here. But I will never find God then. Never have union with God. Because, yoga takes a long time. You have to, like Swami Rama, when I was listening to his videos, says that you have to allocate, one time in the daytime or in the nighttime, like one, what do you call that, 4 o'clock, fixed time. And be punctual, be regular, and keep doing this meditation at that particular time. Choose a time, fixed time, and do it at that time. 4 o'clock, if you choose. Then, and it goes on for years and years and years. And God is very difficult to reach. Through yoga also, very difficult. People have tried for years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Some have got it quickly, I don't know how. If you have even if you have a guru, it might take you years, 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, like that. So it's difficult. And so you need to believe that there is a God. Who are you yogaing with? Like which method to use? So Muji Baba cuts through all this and shows you. So what I also did before Muji Baba I met was think. No, I contemplated. I don't know what contemplation is. Whether to just observe. Yeah, so I'd reached that. Observation is without judgment. So I tried to observe. Is there anything here that, without doing yoga, I was just lying down. Is there anything here besides the mind? And I found pure awareness. Whether I found it without the mind or it found me, then Muji Baba explained, showed us further and tells us to check within ourselves. So this is what I found, and to be I want to be, because I am straightforward, I don't do indirect works and all that. The only thing I hide is sometimes where I am because of for my safety and the safety sometimes of my country and all this. So unless I'm in a mad mood, my condition, and then I come here and say things where I am, and my even mobile is showing where. Otherwise, I don't. So otherwise, I'm straightforward. I like straightforwardness. Indirectness is not my thing. Cup of tea. So Salim Lalani's live stream or Zoom a time, I said that I wanted to say, but then he just got angry at, like, he said he insulted me or something like this. So I said, okay, I'm going to. I thought this was a cup shop, like we could talk our hearts out here, but then he stopped me. Maybe for my own safety, because I was saying against Islam. Like, the problem is Islam, not so much His Highness Agha. Maybe we should do it in another way. Then later on in the live streams, I also said that we should help Ismailis, you know, how can we help Ismailis? Because you see, they have such a strong leader, such an honest leader, and such a caretaker that the world respects him. Big people, presidents and all, respect him. And if he says, I want my Ismailis safe, then the world will, presidents, Queen of England would get up and help him. I mean, at the time when the Queen of England was alive. She's a friend of, she was a personal friend of his and so. And all this, so I'll be straight. So that's why I told, I'll be very forward. I told Salim Lalani that if we can help, because you see, this His Highness Agha is very, what's this? Maybe walls are thin. His Highness Agha is very powerful and also a good caretaker. So how can we help these Ismailis? They're going to break apart. They haven't gone in the real world alone, naked. Like Jiddu Krishnamurti said, stand naked, stand alone, and see the truth naked, right? Ismailis cannot do that because what Jiddu Krishnamurti said, we go into groups, we make these communities, we make groups protecting each other. Well, that could be for animals, like ants make groups, bees make groups, and they have a bee queen and all this. So how can we help? Very few can in the society, when you're living in, as a monk, you can go away from society and live alone, like a hermit, a monk. But when you're in this society, this world will eat you up, the capital system, everything will eat you up. Ismailis cannot, they'll break. And we don't want Ismailis to break. Because there's not a leader that fits like His Highness Agha. The Pope is there, the Catholic, yeah. The Christians are organized too, like Catholic Christians. Pope can help them and all this. But besides that, I haven't seen a leader that can help his people honestly. I've heard of Baba Zayed helping, and that the Emiratis, they love their Emiratis, and they want to help out, and they're very they would go out of their way, like facilitate. What we called vastas, like favoritism, no. I would say when I came here, I contemplated, and I would say facilitate for even the poor Emiratis, the poor cities. Facilitation, we would call it. I don't agree with the favoritism. But why not if you have so much and you can share and you can help each other? So why not? So someone was interviewing Sheikh, saying that aren't you spoiling your this Emiratis? So, but why not spoiling? I don't know. But he said he gave a good answer. I think he said if you want to work hard, want more money, earning, then you work harder. But this basic needs and all we give to those who can't afford or can't work or something like this. So then we have authority problem that, out of politeness, we can't say anything at times in awe of, and also too much dependent on community groups and all this. We can't stand alone. So I don't think Ismailis can stand alone. They're so used to this. So how to help them come out of this? This one was saying, no. So I found out through Ismailis that His Highness Agha the Third said that that His Highness Agha the Fourth also is very stubborn. He just said that I'm a Muslim, right? That interview I was sent, I've already seen, and he said, I will be a Muslim, I'm a Muslim, I don't know what. So let him be the Muslim he wants to be. So honesty, but I don't think he's he's a diplomatic person, he's not a very honest person. So recently I saw through an Ismaili that His Highness Agha Khan is not an honest person in the sense that there's something lacking. The honesty is lacking in him. So he just shows the positive side of Islam, and he's kept his murids and all, Ismailis, away from the literal meaning, the history of Islam. They can't really do research. They do a biased, they do a research that, then he says, I'm the sole interpreter of the Quran. They can't do this research. Then who's Henry Corbin? You see, then they give, I don't know who this Henry Corbin is. Ooh. Very few farmans of Imam. He's a French philosopher. So he's written books on Ismailism or history of Islamic philosophy. And they quote him. Maybe he was an Ismaili, I don't know. A lot is quoted about him, what he says about Islam by the Ismailis on their websites and all. You can see. So the Ismailis have been thriving and progressing. Also this. So His Highness Agha Khan is not like Jiddu Krishnamurti. Jiddu Krishnamurti is beyond anyone now. I feel I've come back to Jiddu Krishnamurti, your dignity. I mean, forget dignity and all this, my goodness. It doesn't come by practicing. But how he is consistent in how he did it alone. I don't know who helped him. Sick society, profoundly sick society. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. But the Ismailis are well adjusted because their Imam is diplomatic ties, and yes, he's a true friend with the Canadian Prime Minister, President, and British King and Queen and all this. And all that, so... But I've lost that respect for His Highness Agha on the fourth even. He, you see, truth is a pathless. You can search the truth through this and that. And when I found out about what His Highness Agha Khan the Third said, I was like, what is this? This is like, our religion is our religion. Without evidence. Like, this is like, you can't be proud on that. Our religion is our religion. It's like personal pronoun. It's like the Sunnis would say, oh, my Islam is my Islam. We don't want to see what Shias are doing. Yeah, don't see what Shias are doing, but Shias are not. But he also said that even though you leave this, it's like, isn't it personal pronoun? Sense of belonging, it gives you, that's why you're here. You're not here for the truth. You're here for the sense of belonging. My religion is my religion. It doesn't have universal appeal, yet my religion is my religion. What is this? It should be for truth, for justice. It should stand on truth. That our religion stands on truth. That's why we are what we are today. He didn't say that. And I caught His Highness Agha Khan the Third. So what Salim Lalani was doing, I said, oh my God, I don't think they're so dependent on this Imam and the Jamaat and the group. Jiddu Krishna, even religion, if you're standing alone on your religion, like we were told Imam Hussein stood alone in the battlefield of Karbala against thousands and thousands. So what I was saying is that Ismailis can't do that. Ismailis can't do that. So this is the problem I saw, and I didn't want them to break down. Anyhow, and then someone telling me that this miracle about Ismailis, and healing power, and you feel really strong with the group, Imam and everything, So, this, may I be alone and not feel discouraged. So with the power of one person against Indian gurus who are fake and all this, against all that. So, some Indians would, I don't know, maybe. I went to this Bengali, I thought he was a palmist, but he had a murti and he made me stand there. Then my father came and said, where did you go? He's asking for 3,000 rupees at that time. He said, there's jadoo on you. Oh God, my father said, let me see. I took him to Sadar, where he was, and said, don't you see here on the wall? Now I couldn't read Urdu. It says in Urdu, Bengal ka jadoo. So he was using Devi's murti. And he made me stand on this platform, a wooden platform, up, and he took a black thread and started going all around my body, and he gave me eggs to keep, and then to put them on crossroad, just leave them there. First he said, put it behind your bed. Someone has cut your potential since childhood. All this. So they used Devi, but he said he needed 3,000 rupees at that time because he had to give meat to the jinns. And I thought Hindus were not allowed to cut, you know, animals like lamb, sheep, cut them. And he said he has to give jinns food so they would leave me alone. Otherwise, they won't leave me alone. So he said, I will have to give some meat towards the sea, go to the sea and give them meat, and then go to the sky, put the meat up, and down on earth, give meat to the jinns. Otherwise, they won't leave me alone. And someone's done jadoo, meaning using the jinns. So the jinns are set after me, demons and all, spirits, bad spirits. Oh God, so that's why he wanted 3,000 rupees. But he said this jadoo is like, this black magic is very old. Because the woman he described was my grandmother's, used to come to my grandmother, and she was a kachi. And he said, Samle Ranki, meaning wheatish, kind of dark complexion, face, and she's got one big mole on her face, only one, and a very big mole on her face. So I was going through my pictures, and I think when my uncle came, my mother's brother, I took many pictures out that day. She's come in the picture. After my grandmother left, even, this is like in 1986, 87, 88, 18, yeah, no. 80, we shifted. 86, somewhere my uncle, my mother's brother had come from America. So that's where I saw she had come to the old house. She used to come even, she was a friend of my grandmother. Oh my God, when I saw her face, oh, so this was in the new house now. I was looking at my album, and I saw her. Yeah, she was the one with the big mole, one big mole on her face. She used to come with a chelly, like a bag for fruits. Long time ago, she told my mother, when I was younger, that there is nazar, evil eye, on her. And she told my mother that boil some water, put black pepper, and say Surah Yasin. Recite Surah Yasin in the room, but like boil the water and put some black pepper and something like that. So we used to boil that because she said, your daughter has too much hasad nazar, meaning jealousy and evil eye on her. Too much. So I wasn't eating well or something, getting sick and things like that. Anyhow, so now, why did I say these stories? I don't know. But the best is that the story should be of truth, right? This is what the story should be, on justice and truth. Not because it's your story, but the story should be on justice and truth. And for human rights, if there are any what do you call that, violations on human rights. So it's a terrible world, and it's very discouraging. I feel someone took my weakness and used it to, I think, to following me and all this. And but I don't anymore respect His Highness Agha. I don't respect liars. And I feel he's one of the biggest liars. I'm not diplomatic. So this is what I was telling Salim Lalani, that how can we help Ismailis to get out of this religion, but I see that it's a very stubborn world. And hardly anyone diplomatic, and everyone is after the progress and all this self-interest, mutual interest. You give me something, I give you something. Nothing is for free. Thank you so much. I will continue later.